You already know it's your boy Joe back at it again. Listen, we're gonna go with the top 10 programming languages for 2017. Alright, man. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit the little bell down there for notifications, man. Trust me. Alright, so we're gonna start. Top 10 programming languages to learn in 2017, alright? We're gonna start with Go. Go is pretty much is like a super fast language. You know, the competition for it is Node.js, Java, and pretty much there's a lot of companies out here looking for developers who actually know Go or at least know the basics to basically hire them and bring them in and build APIs with Go, right? So this is like the future right now. This right here, the reason why I put it in number 10 because it's one of those languages that not every company is gonna hire for that. This is gonna be like a specific team, a specific company, a specific startup. This is not your local shop. Your local shop is not gonna be able to hire somebody for Go. You know what I mean? All right. So Swift. Swift I put at number 9 because you know it's definitely one of those languages that it's needed, because there's a lot of people with iOS apps and that need iOS apps and Mac OS, but at the same time, it's a it could get pretty difficult, because most of the time is you're developing apps, and developing apps is not that easy to pick up. You can't just be like, hey, I'm a new programmer. Can I freaking come in and work for you? You got to have some type of experience, a year or two, and that's how you're going to get hired. So pretty much it's a very good language, but it's not that easy to get hired, right? There's definitely lots of jobs. So I would, if you have experience already in programming languages, I would go with Swift, right? All right, so Python, one of my favorite languages. I really, really love Python and Ruby. That type of programming, I love it. You know what I mean? Definitely object oriented. There's a lot of companies that will say, "Hey, we're looking for somebody who has experience with Python or Ruby," and there's definitely a lot of jobs, and I'm talking about high paying jobs. It's not like if you are a Python developer, you're definitely gonna get top dollar for it. 80,000. It's like the starting point. 95,000, 105,000, 110,000, 120,000 plus. You know what I mean? If you want to become a data scientist, like go ahead. The sky's the limit. You don't know how much you can make. Like, trust me, you're gonna be good. And of course, you got Django and Flask, which is like the frameworks for like web development. But a lot of people use this for big data, and for data science. So it's all up to you, right? Ruby. People say Ruby on Rails is dead, but the reality of things is there's a lot of jobs out here, and there's not that many developers for it. It's like you search Ruby on Rails, and there's a lot of jobs for it. And it's like high paying jobs too. It's not like you're not gonna find a job. There's definitely jobs, but of course, I will say this: the jobs usually, as far as Ruby on Rails, are in major cities. So, if you live San Francisco, New York, Boston, Seattle, that's where you most likely gonna find good jobs for Ruby on Rails. And I would advise if you live close to any major city, try to learn Ruby on Rails. It's also a great way to be able to learn a framework and how to work with a framework and for web development, right? All right, guys, let's go to Java, right? So we have Java, right? Okay, Java is like one of the oldest languages around, right? But so many companies already use it in their backend or their custom software. I know a lot of companies that they have whole warehouses. Their items is basically being run by Java, right? At the same time, you could go and create Android apps. You could actually create websites. They have different frameworks for it where you could use it for web development. Um, there's definitely jobs. Like, no lie, it's like one of those languages that, look at this, 58,000. Like, that means like there's so many fucking jobs for this thing that like they don't even know how to, how to freaking hire anybody, because it's like there's so many jobs, like they need so many people, but there's not enough Java developers. And that's why, a lot of times they bringing H1B visa developers from other countries, because there's not enough people to fill those jobs. So if you want to learn something and be able to find a job quick, Java is one of those languages, right? All right, C sharp. All right, people's gonna be like, oh my god, I hate C sharp, I hate .NET, I hate working with Unity 3D. Well, this is like one of those languages that's a bunch of jobs. It's not that hard to learn, and it's like you're pretty much set like for life. Like, really, like if you know .NET, like .NET is one of those things that it's not gonna die for a while, and like it doesn't matter where in the United States you live at, you're gonna find jobs for it, because every corporate company pretty much uses .NET. So C sharp is pretty great for that. Now Unity, that's a whole different ball game. That's for video games. You know, video creating video games for either for the Android or for iOS or for PC or for PS4, Xbox, whatever it is. A lot of games are really made with Unity 3D, and pretty much that's like the future. You know what I mean? So, like, let's say an example. You go over here, Unity 3D. Like, this is one of the games that you know created with Unity. Like, pretty cool graphics, right? And that's all done in Unity. So definitely we'll look out for C sharp. And there's definitely, like I said, a million jobs for like C sharp. It's like, look at this, 25,000, 85,000, 90,000, 100,000. Now let's go to the next one. PHP. Why did I choose PHP when everybody's saying, hey, don't learn PHP? Why? Because if you're a brand new developer, the easiest way to get into the industry is to start building websites with PHP. Why? Because number one, there's a million websites that use WordPress, right? Every small little workshop, design shop, or like any mom and pop store has a WordPress website. So you pretty much could either become a freelance for like your first year of developing and programming, or you could go ahead and become a Laravel uh, programmer, and pretty much you could get a lot of jobs, for this. PHP, there's always gonna be jobs for PHP, because PHP is like the whole web. It's like most of the web is made in PHP. Like, look at that. 60,000. I mean, the starting pay is not gonna be that great. 60,000, 75,000. But at the same time, the skill level doesn't need to be that high. You know what I mean? Like, you could be a beginner and get hired as a PHP developer. So my advice to you is, hey, learn something that you're gonna be able to get your feet wet. It's not the best programming language, but it's gonna get you in the door. You don't want to go in and say, hey, I want to learn Go, because Go is more like a senior level. You can't just become a junior developer and start working with Go. You know what I mean? So start with PHP, start slow, right? All right. SQL. SQL is basically, MySQL, Postgres, Microsoft SQL. Every company that I know, they use some type of SQL database. Right now they have MongoDB, whatever, but the reality of things is everybody uses SQL. So pretty much this how you keep data inside the database. So for anybody that is starting up and you're gonna be doing any type of web development or system administration or anything like that, I would advise you to learn MySQL. Like, there's like a given. Let's see right now. Let's say an example. SQL. You know, look at this shit. It's 92,000 jobs just on 65,000 plus, right? $105,000 dollars for, you know, this 23,000 jobs at 105,000. So that means that there's so many jobs that they don't even know how to fill them up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, look at this. W2 SQL developer contractor, 72,000 an hour. Like, seriously. Like, why would you say no to this? You know, that's like free money. You know, MySQL's not that hard at all. Trust me. All right. So then we got JavaScript. You know, this is like the holy grail of like web development, right? And right now, people will say, "Oh, don't learn jQuery." Listen, trust me, learn jQuery because the first thing you need to do is, first of all, learn, you know, vanilla JavaScript, just regular JavaScript. Learn the basics. Learn how to how to do loops, how to do switch statements, how to do if and else statements, and then jump into jQuery. Then from there, learn Node.js. Not saying to learn the back end of, you know, Node.js. I'm talking about learning stuff like, you know, Grunt and Gulp and Webpack. Those little things is gonna help you out. Then from there, learn something like React, Angular, or Vue.js. It's up to you. But you know, you definitely need JavaScript. JavaScript is like one of the go-to web development languages that you're gonna need. Period. Like, look at that, 70,000, 35,000 jobs. Like that means that there's freaking jobs everywhere. You know what I mean? So I would advise you definitely learn JavaScript. And of course, which people are gonna hate me for this. And why did I put this at number one? Like I said, I'm here to tell you about programming languages that's gonna get you in the door and get you hired for 2017. If you was looking to get hired as a programmer, as a web developer, or just get your, you know, your foot at the door and just get your little feet wet, you gotta learn HTML and CSS. That's essential right now. Like no matter what, like this is what you have to learn. People's gonna be like, oh, but that's not even a programming language. That's a whatever. That's a syntactic language. Like, listen, man. People need to stop lying to, you know, developers out here, because people are pretty much, they putting in their personal feelings and the, you know, whatever they actually invested on. You know, they say, hey, they're top 10 of programming languages for 2017, whatever. Well, that's their favorite languages. I'm talking about languages that's gonna fucking change your life and get you a job out here, man. Get you money. I don't think nobody's out here trying to program just to be in their house and just program for no reason and say, hey, I know the hardest languages in the world. I know Pascal, I know Perl, I know whatever. Like, you don't want to be that guy. You want to be the guy that's getting money and get hired, because you could go in, learn HTML, CSS, and work on any website as a junior developer, and that will get you, you know, get you in the door. Then from there you could go ahead and learn any of this other languages. But without that essential one, without this, you can't get any job, period. And that's something that nobody tells you, because it's like, hey, if you don't know HTML and CSS, it's gonna be even more harder for you to get a job. This is like, if you know this, that's it, you're in the door. You know what I mean? If I give you a design and you are able to turn that into HTML and CSS, you're hired. All right? So, you already know it's your boy Joe back again. Make sure you subscribe and sign up for the notifications. Click the little bell right next to the subscribe button, man. Right next to my channel name. Go ahead, click that. Trust me, all you need to do is subscribe and get notifications. You will see all my videos at all times. I'm here to keep you ready for next year, and also to just get you ready for, you know, as a programmer, as a web developer, whatever you want to call yourself, back-end developer, front-end developer. I'm trying to get you ready for the real world. I'm not here trying to give you my personal opinions. I'm trying to give you something that's gonna get you in the door and get you working. All right, you already know. It's your boy Joe. Make sure you subscribe. Bow.